Okay, so we're breaking these up because I don't talk fast enough. And we can only have 12-minute increments. Okay, so I left off on the question of, you've done a few web projects. How is it different doing a web show compared to a TV show? The biggest difference is, like I was saying earlier, is just the mass quantity of like people involved. And like, there's definitely more people involved in the TV show because there's just generally more money, and there's more like people that need to get it approved. There's the studio, there's the network, there's the directors, there's the producers. And I mean, web shows have all that too. I mean, not the network or the studio, but just kind of on a smaller scale. Um, I wouldn't say one is better or one's worse, or just they're different. One is just like on a much larger scale with a lot more not red tape, but a lot more just you know, I don't know. Just a lot. There's a lot. It's just a lot more. Okay. It's a little late. Okay. What is your short film, 5 Stages, about, and what is your role? 5 Stages is a short about the 5 stations of a relationship and just kind of how they occur, grow, blossom, flourish, and then wither away and die. Not all of them, but some do. So it's just about, the beginning, her love at first sight, and then, the comfortable middle, and then the kind of like sad, bitter end, and falling out of love and realizing it's not for you, or trying to make it work when it shouldn't. So it's all about that. My character, her name is Audrey, and she's uh, the girlfriend to the other main guy, is Cal. And they have been together for a while and happy, but they are growing, and naturally, like anyone. But unfortunately, they're growing apart. So they are dealing with who they are now, and can they be who they really are with each other? And that's like the biggest question they have to solve. And I think that's the biggest question for most relationships. You're with somebody because you are compatible with that person, but you grow, and if they don't grow with you, or if you grow separately, do you stay or do you go? You have to ask yourself that. And sometimes you have to go, and sometimes it doesn't work, and that's sad and it's tough. But I mean, that's also what you did have was beautiful and was worth it, and it was what you needed at that point in your life, I think. Okay. Next question. What's the scoop on your film ETXR, and what's your character Florence like? Okay. ETXR is a film for Netflix that I did before, almost about a year ago, kind of last summer, like springtime actually, April, almost a year. And I always gonna explain it to people as DJs and aliens. It's sci-fi, and we shot it, and it was great. But from what I've been told, is the story's changed a bit. So I don't know what it's going to entail anymore. Actually, I mean, I haven't seen it yet. We actually have a screening for it at the end of March 30th. So I believe it's going to be available on Netflix pretty soon after that, after like the cast and crew gets to see the final copy and cut of it. Florence. Florence is definitely a character I've never played before. She is a groupie. Super sexy party girl, likes drugs. Definitely definitely a wild child. But she was really fun to play because, you know, I'm pretty boring compared to her and stale compared to her. So it was cool to put on those high heels. But also, it was scary for me, or it pushed me as an actress to play someone that's much further away from who I am naturally. So I liked that role a lot for those reasons and what I learned from it, and kind of had to try to tap into that side of me. I think we all have that side somewhere. So that was good times. Good times. Okay, next question. I've seen you play everything from a ditzy heiress to a magician's assistant to a crazed girlfriend obsessed with social media. What do you look for when choosing roles? And do you choose all your roles through your agents, or do you look for roles on your own as well? What do I look for when choosing roles? I think that's the kind of Florence answer really segues into this. You know, I like to do roles, anything that kind of pushes me in a way I haven't been, or it just kind of excites me, or scares me. Like Florence scared me. Like I was like, oh God, I can't. I remember getting the audition and was like, nope. Was not even gonna go in. Was like, I remember like calling my manager and was like, yeah, so I'm not gonna do this. No way. And then he was like, well, Lindsay, I think it could be good for you just to try it. And I was like, well, I mean, you're right. Something I've never done before. So I think when you have that thing inside of you that's telling you to run and hide, it's also a good gauge of, oh man, maybe I should do this. So I like that. But I also like doing, super silly stuff too, that it's just fun. It's just like, just something that doesn't bore me, really. You know, Getting into that headspace is cool, of something new. And do you choose all your roles through your agents, or do you look for roles on your own as well? Just kind of like a industry standard. Networks and studios don't love when actors just come and knock on their door. Hey, here you're looking for this role. They don't like that. So that's why we have a lot of gatekeepers, like agents and managers and casting directors and producers, that are kind of like separate you as an actor from the role, so you're not bothering people. So my peeps do all that stuff for me. But it's cool when, like, you've been working in this industry for a while and you make friends and they create their own content and they're, calling you up like, hey, would you do this for me? Or I wrote this role, and that stuff's cool, and to do, and that's like on my own. And like Destroy the Alpha Gammas, that wasn't through my agents, that was just through my friend, a friend I met in acting class that was producing it, and it ended up being a total blast. So it kind of works both ways, just depending on what kind of project it is. All right, next question. What's it like being a woman of color in the entertainment business? Do you struggle not to be typecast based on your appearance or Mexican background? How do you think it has affected your career so far? I mean, it's cool because I feel like the entertainment industry is changing and is becoming much more accepting and wanting people of color to be in projects, and there's more stories written about minorities, and because I feel like audiences want to see that, and audiences want to see diversity, and they don't, and they when they watch TV, they want to see people that look like them and look like their friends and look like their family and look like their life. So I do think that's broadening in the entertainment industry, which I think is really cool, because it's just more stories and like cooler things to see and know about. So more cultures to embrace. So I love that. Woman of color. Sometimes it's difficult because it's like, you'll read it's just the nature to, you'll read a role and you're like, oh, this is great. Or like, like a period piece, and it's like, oh, this is awesome. I want to play Jane Austen, or I want to be in a Jane Austen novel. And I mean, unfortunately, there's no brown girls in Jane Austen novels. So, I mean, as much as like I would love to do something like that, it's a very, very slim chance I'll ever get a chance to, just because that was that world, and they didn't have much brown girls walking around with Mr. Darcy. So that part's tough. But I mean, that's anything, you know. It's totally goes the opposite way. So I guess that's it. I guess, you know, lots of times there's not as many like leading minority characters on like shows or movies. So that's tough too. They're mainly like supporting roles, and you know, like I'm fine with that, but you know, just in a general speaking about, it'd be cool to see more minorities in lead roles, especially my women. It'd be awesome.